Welcome friends. For this video, I wanted to cover the 2025 Toyota Tacoma SR5 trim level. Why? Because I believe this particular trim can serve families really well and even certain business owners as well who are looking for a truck with either a 5-foot or a 6-foot bed. These trucks can be surprisingly obtainable if you purchase it the right way. And that's primarily going to be through Jim, who is one of the largest car brokers in the United States. I am personally partnered with this individual primarily because Jim offers some of the best Toyota pricing throughout the United States. For this example, we're taking a look at about a $42,854 MSRP SR5. And when you purchase this vehicle through Jim, you can get this truck for around $38,500. That's an approximation, but your discount should be somewhere in that realm, a little over $4,000 off, which equates to a little over 10% off the MSRP. Not bad, but to access these deals and to access these discounts, Jim does charge a broker fee. He did say that when you contact him and you mention my channel, he did say that he'll take some money off of that fee, and I really appreciate him doing that for my audience. But towards the end of this video, I'll talk more about why his fee is well worth it, because some of the programs that he has to offer, it is truly incredible, whether that is through leasing or through one-pay leases. He offers programs and interest rates that are not typically available in certain regions, like the Southeast, for instance. In fact, the Southeast, like North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, etc., they actually have their own separate bank known as Southeast Toyota Financial, and that is pretty much garbage. They have some of the worst programs. However, Jim can get you deals through Toyota Financial themselves and even through Ally Bank and through some partnered credit unions as well. And that's what I'm saying, his fee can be well worth it. But anyway, let's get started with some of these simulations. So let's first start with the lease. So for a 39-month lease, 10K miles with the first month's payment due at start, assuming you have perfect credit, you're going to be at around $425 a month. So on the Leasehackr forum, Jim does have a spreadsheet laid out. I just added $75 to the payments that he has listed to simulate the dealer fees, taxes, and even Jim's own broker fee. So Jim's broker fee is something that you pay up front, but I'm just rolling this into the calculations so I don't miss anything. And I'm using Miami or South Florida as the example state to calculate the taxes, which is about 7%. So that's why I'm adding $75 to the payments that Jim has listed on the Leasehackr forum. So instead of $350 a month, we're going with $425 a month. And then there's something known as MSDs, or multiple security deposits. This is a deposit that you put down at the start of a lease, and the only reason why you would do that is to lower the interest rate of the lease. And this is not a down payment. You will actually get this money back at the end of the lease, or if you decide to sell the vehicle early. So in this case, you might be putting down around $3,000 or $3,500 in MSDs. That's something that you pay up front, but again, that's refundable. Should you do this? In my opinion, yes, you should. With most Toyota leases, it is definitely in your best interest to put down MSDs. You're going to be at around $378 per month on this SR5 trim level. And as you can see, we are at very obtainable levels here when you put down those MSDs. And I believe as of right now, the interest rate on some of these Toyota Tacoma leases, it's a little over 6%. And when you put down the MSDs, the interest rate drops to around like 4.8%. That's a approximation. It's not exact. And these things do change every month. But of course, Jim will update the programs every month on the Leasehackr forum. Finally, there's something known as a one-pay lease. So for those who absolutely hate payments, but they still want the benefits of leasing, which is that guaranteed residual protection, then they can do something known as a one-pay lease, which in this case, it's going to be about $13,250 total due, which equates to about $368 per month, and that's going to be on a 36-month basis. So only like $10 cheaper than doing the MSDs on the 39-month lease. So you're only saving like an extra $360 off the interest, so not much at all. I would personally not do the one-pay lease, and I would stick with the MSDs instead. So those are your payments, including everything, even Jim's own broker fee as well. Of course, you pay that up front, but regardless, I'm just rolling everything in. And to determine how much income you need to afford these trucks, there is a Kelley Blue Book article that states that your car payment plus your insurance and your fuel, it should not exceed more than 10 to 20% of your net monthly income. So I just did a quick Google search to see how much the monthly insurance is going to be, and the Google AI, it spat out around $105 per month for the insurance. It could be more or less depending on where you live. I saw some individuals on Reddit paying like $90 a month for insurance on a new Tacoma. Typically, the people who pay the least amount of money in insurance are the ones who bundle a lot of things either through Allstate or through State Farm. They'll get homeowners insurance, maybe a rental property, and umbrella policy, maybe some term insurance, and of course the vehicle itself, or maybe a few vehicles. And these individuals end up paying way less money per month in insurance. So regardless, I'm gonna roll with 105. For the fuel, I went with $200 per month on the fuel. Google AI spat out between $180 to $230 a month in fuel. I just went with 200. So your total monthly cost for the regular lease, it's gonna be $730 a month. With the MSDs, it's gonna be $683 a month. And with the one pay lease, you're theoretically paying $673 a month, but of course, you made all your payments up front, so you don't technically have a payment, but I think you know what I mean. So in order to comfortably afford these payments, on the regular lease, you gotta be bringing in between $3,600 to around $7,300 a month in net monthly income, and it goes down from there. If you do the MSD option, you gotta be bringing in between $3,400 to $6,800 in net monthly income. And if you do the one pay lease, you should still be bringing in around $3,300 to $6,700 per month in net monthly income, even though you don't have a payment for the vehicle itself. But if we just take a look at that middle option, between $3,400 to $6,800, that is not bad. That is pretty obtainable for a useful truck like this. But I also ran finance numbers as well on the same MSRP and the same discount price of around $38,500. I'm still including all of the fees, including Jim's own broker fee, and I'm still using Miami as the example state with the same insurance and the same fuel costs. The payment itself, we go on Toyota's own website. The incentivized rates that Toyota has to offer, it's 5.75% for 72 months, 4.75% for 60 months, and 3.75% for 48 months. We're going to be putting no money down on the finance. You can do as you please, but personally I think the whole point of leasing and financing a vehicle is to preserve your capital and not to blow it all at once. So for 72 months, your payment is going to be $722 a month. For 60 months, $823, and for 48 months, $986 per month. Total monthly cost is going to range between $1,000 to almost $1,300 a month on that 48-month finance term with all of the insurance and fuel included. That means in order to comfortably afford these finance payments for 72 months, you got to be bringing in between $5,100 to a little over $10,000 a month in net monthly income. For the 60 months, between $5,600 to $11,000. And for the 48-month finance payments, you got to be bringing in between $6,500 to almost $13,000 a month. And I also have the total interest paid towards the bottom as well. As you can see, the finance is brutal, primarily because we don't have any good interest rates. And this is for individuals that have perfect credit, mind you. So the lease, in my opinion, is the way to go regarding these Tacomas, even though the interest rate on the Tacoma lease is not that great. I don't really care. These payments are so affordable that that's where the value is at, in my opinion, for the Taco. Now, I'm creating this video in July of 2025. If you're watching this video in the future, obviously these numbers are going to change, and even Jim's inventory is going to be far different. I mean, Jim's inventory changes on a daily basis because he's just moving so many units. The guy gets like 150 to 200 messages per day. I honestly have no idea how he keeps up with all of this, but he does somehow. And I know these two vehicles probably already sold, but I saw him advertising a 2024 SR5 Tacoma lease deal for 3 years with 10,000 miles, between $320 a month to $275 a month if you do the MSDs, but he's also got $1,500 down. I actually just took that $1,500 and I divided it into 36 months, and I also added an additional $75 to these monthly payments, similar to what I did with the 2025s. Honestly, adding $75, it might be a bit overkill. I'm just doing it anyway because what's that phrase? Under promise, over deliver or something. So I'm just overinflating some things just to keep things even more realistic. So even though these 2024s probably already sold out, I just ran these numbers just for fun, because in the future when you're watching this, maybe the 2025s will be going for a similar deal and the 2026 will be going for the similar deal that the 2025s are currently going for. Hopefully that made sense, but running numbers on this 24, the regular lease with just the first month's payment due at start, we're at $395 a month. With the MSDs, we're at $350 a month. And if you did the one-pay lease, in this case, that's going to be $12,200 total due. We're at theoretically $339 per month. So definitely a couple dollars cheaper per month compared to the 2025. That means the income needed decreases as well by just a few $100s, but it helps. And I did the same simulation with the financing as well. When you go on Toyota's website, the finance deals that you're going to get when you shop on Toyota's website, it's going to change depending on the zip code that you input. So when I put in the Miami zip code, I only just got one incentivized finance deal for the 2024 Tacoma. It was for like a 3-year finance term. But when I put in a Pennsylvania zip code, I got 3 very attractive finance offers. 1.99% for 72 months, same thing with 60 months, and for 48 months it was 0.99%. Very impressive. And somehow, some way, when you buy these vehicles through Jim, he is able to get you these very low interest rates, again, for the 2024. But if you were just someone in Miami shopping for a Tacoma and you just went to your local dealership, they would not be able to get you these lower interest rates. That is wild to me. So buying through Jim, it's not just to save money off the MSRP, which that's a huge reason, of course. He's got some of the best prices in the country, but it's also to take advantage of these lower interest rates, whether it's through financing or through leasing. Not to mention the flexibility that Jim has to offer. Like for instance, when you lease through Toyota Financial as opposed to Southeast Toyota Financial, you're able to break the lease early, sell wherever you want. There's just a lot of flexibility leasing through Jim as opposed to just getting a lease through Southeast Toyota, if that makes sense. And when you get these incentivized finance deals, your monthly payment, it drops dramatically. Same thing with the total interest paid. I get it. These 2 Tacomas probably sold out already. I'm just showing you these numbers for illustration purposes. And yeah, although these payments have come down, obviously these finance payments are still pretty much double what the lease payments are going to be, but definitely worth looking into since you're paying way less in interest. Of course, when you finance, you lose out on the residual value protection, but regardless of that, these are your numbers. So in conclusion, some of the reasons why you want to purchase a Toyota through Jim is for number 1, lower rates, good discounts, flexibility, and also you actually pay less in terms of dealer fees, things of that nature. He's got dealerships both in Pennsylvania and in California. I did not include any shipping in this simulation. I just assumed that you're going to be picking up locally at Pennsylvania and at California, but he does offer nationwide shipping. That's just something you have to pay extra for. But regarding his dealer fee, at least for the Pennsylvania dealerships, I don't know about the California ones, the PA dealerships, they seem to be around like $500 for the dealer fee. That is not bad. Some of these local Toyota dealerships are charging $700-800 in a dealer fee. So some of the fees are reduced when buying through Jim. That helps. Plus, whenever you buy through pretty much any broker, you don't have to worry about any of the manipulation games, any of the shenanigans like tint fees, nitrogen fees. You don't have to deal with any of that. You just buy the vehicle and chill. Anytime I needed a new Toyota, I just go directly to Jim. I'm not just making this video because I'm partnered with this individual. No, it's just this is my own personal way of buying new Toyotas as well. I just wanted to share that with you, with my audience. This is not just some random shill. In fact, even mentioning some of these brokers in my videos, the compensation I get is so inconsequential because they pay me based on like how many people buy a vehicle, which is not that many people. It's a car at the end of the day, not a pair of socks. And I'm okay with that. I don't really care. I show you this to demonstrate to you what is possible in today's market when everyone is complaining about the price of new vehicles and how unobtainable everything is. I just want to show you that there is an avenue out there that allows for vehicles to be affordable, and that's primarily through purchasing through some of these brokers. Yeah, they charge a fee, but this is pretty much like the Ross, TJ Maxx, Big Lots version of buying a new vehicle. Yeah, there are plenty of individuals who like to go to Macy's, Dillard's, Saks, whatever, and buy Ralph Lauren polos, Tommy Hilfiger polos for $50, $60, $70, $80. But you can also just get the same thing at Ross or TJ Maxx for $10 or $20. It's the same thing with these cars. Somehow, some of these individuals, typically local buyers, they somehow think that they're being a boss or they are being really cool by paying full price and being the dealership's lapdog and just saying yes to every command that the dealership lays out. Some individuals feel really good about paying a higher price, but for the more savvy individual, they'll seek out other ways like this to save money. And you'll notice that a lot of these deals, they are below invoice. So that means the dealership is not even really making a profit selling you these vehicles. So why would a dealership partner with a broker like Jim in order to sell a bunch of vehicles at a loss? That is a great question. As mentioned before, it's similar to Ross and TJ Maxx. Any excess inventory, they're able to just push that out. It doesn't pile up on their dealership. And when they become a high volume dealership like this, they're able to get allocations for more unique vehicles like Supras, GR Corollas, TRD Pros, etc. And they're able to sell those either at sticker or, if the market permits, even above sticker. And when they move high volume like this, they also get manufacturer bonuses as well on a quarterly basis. So these are some of the reasons why a dealership might choose to partner with a broker to clear out some inventory. Of course, these are still desirable vehicles. You can get top trim levels as well, like TRD Off-Roads and TRD Sports with the premium package. You can get all of that. You obviously just have to pay more money for it. I'm just using the SR5 as a more obtainable example for this video. Anyway, I will have all of Jim's information linked in the description box below. He primarily has a Facebook page and a page on the Leasehackr forum. And to contact him, he just has a phone number. You just text him. Once again, if you mention my channel, he'll take some money off of his broker fee, and just mention the vehicle, the trim, the color, the options that you're interested in, what zip code you are located in to get the process started. If you found value with this content, make sure to like and subscribe, because literally nobody else on this platform is talking about this. And if you've purchased through Jim before, or you have purchased from any other car broker, let us know how your experience has been. Let us know what kind of deals and discounts you were able to get, or if you were even able to negotiate something on your own with your own local dealerships. Let us know about that as well. My local dealerships are sadly too obtuse, and it's not even worth my time reaching out to them. But if you've had a good experience, let us know. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.